Ladies and gentlemen, boys all ages, welcome to the MoY Ploy. I'm your host, Jake the Gluten Freak Harris, and happy Monday. Gonna record on Monday today because there is literally no reason not to. Every single matchup is pretty much already decided. The only one, in my opinion, that remotely hangs in the balance is my dad versus Peter Cheater Pigu Hot Sizzle, and that requires a 38-point game out of George Kittle. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and record today because I really don't. I don't. Why not? Why not? All right, boys, we have got another crappy show for you. We are going to cover the same as we always do, the previous week's matchups, the upcoming week's matchups, and the playoff hunt. So, without any further ado, let's make this one short and sweet, just like my matchup with Matt. God, was that easy. All right. Let's go ahead and share the screen. Forgot to do that. Whoops. Here we go. All right. Getting straight into it. We had Eddie, don't call me sweaty, up against Brett Ted. Now, this entire week, before I'm going to back it up just a bit, this entire week was unique in that it was every single playoff team against every single non-playoff team. That doesn't happen very often, especially this late into the season. So the entire playoff picture could have absolutely flipped on his head with an Eddie win, with a Peter win, and with a Brent win. All of the playoff teams could have been, except for Brett, all of the playoff teams could have been bumped out except for Brett, and then everyone except Peter could have been pushed into the playoffs. We could have had 3 playoff teams get swapped out for 3 non-playoff teams swapped in. However, that is not what went down on this past week because the cucks stayed cucking. Oh, man. All right. Well, Eddie, don't call me sweaty Disler up against Brett Tet. This one was a fucking blowout. Jameer Gibbs drops a 55 burger, and that was pretty much all Brett needed. Rashee Rice had another good game, and the rest of his team was just solid. A couple 20-point performances, and he really didn't need too much out of the rest of his team because 55 points. Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. And even though Eddie had one 30 burger out of Amon-Ra St. Brown, it just didn't do anything for him. The addition of Michael Pittman did help, but not enough. Can you imagine having to start Trey Tucker instead? Yikes. So that is all that's all I got to say about that. Then we have got Todd, the Moy God Harris, up against Peter Cheater Pigu Hot Sizzle O'Donnell. This is the abuser versus the abused, the ring bearer versus the bearer of the imprint of the ring. Oh boy, this one, it's looking like another blowout. It really comes down to tonight if George Kittle is going to put up a 55-point game. You guys will have already known, or a 38-point game. You guys will already know that by the time you're watching this cast because for some reason YouTube, well, I know the reason. It's because YouTube has a bottleneck of uploads, and our little 12 subscriber channel is pretty low on the priority list. So it takes a long time for your uploads to actually finish uploading. Then, yeah, fixing to be a blowout. Ray the Rat Mert Squirts against getting Brent over yet again. Van Conyu. I'm so disappointed in you, Brent. I gave you so many props, and they were so undeserved, and I'm angry at myself. I'm not disappointed in you because when you show me time after time after time what you're going to do, it no longer becomes your fault for doing what you've always done. It becomes my fault for expecting something different from you and for putting you in situations where I know what you're going to do, but expecting a different outcome. It's no longer your fault, Brent. It's my fault. My fault for putting you into these situations. All right. Well, Brent, maybe one of these years, once that thing stops working, you stop jorking it so much, we will be able to see you field a good fantasy football team, but it does not appear that it is going to be this year. I think going 5-7, you are most likely out of the playoff picture. Your tiebreakers are only ahead of Ray Rat and Todd Harris, both of whom just pulled up to 7 wins. So with their worst being 7-7 and your best being 7-7, you are technically not eliminated yet. However, Ray is going to outscore you and my dad are both going to outscore you by a significant number of points. So you will be behind in both tiebreakers and record. So you have a very uphill battle to make the playoffs. And then the game of the week, myself versus Matt, the wannabe rat, the Toby HR Southside. This is the first time I have gotten to sleep easy on a Sunday night all year long, and it feels magnificent. Matt, thank you. Big props for taking a page out of your mentor's book and just turning over, grabbing your ankles. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah. Another good performance by my team. Looking to be competing for the highest score on the week between Ray, myself, and Brett. This is I think in order for Matt to win, Bryce Young and Christian McCaffrey have to combine for a total of 9 turnovers with absolutely no yards, which, seems likely. Sleeper gives it a 1% chance to happen. I think about every one out of every 100 football games sees 2 players combine for like 0 yards and 9 turnovers. So yeah, I think that is probably going to happen. Good luck to you, Matt, tonight. I think you should probably stay up and watch that game because it's going to be an epic comeback for you. Also, big shout out for leaving Daniel Jones, the player who you just traded for, on the bench. Appreciate it. Sweet. And then I just want to talk about a couple of things. We are in the heart of MoY season. And if I don't say this, I'm afraid that all of you meatheads and knuckle draggers aren't going to appreciate the season that I have put together. I traded for Drake May from Matt's team. He would have, I took 10 points away from his lineup there by trading Josh Allen to him, knowing that Josh Allen played the number 1 defense in the NFL the week that I faced Matt. Not only did I do that, but I also traded Matt Ladd McConkey, who I knew was on a bye week the week that I played Matt. And then I also had to give up DK Metcalf, who frankly has been dog shit. He was okay this past week. But 22 yards, like DK Metcalf has been trash. That trade was absolutely a MoY move by myself. Thank you very much. Then I think we ought to just look ahead to week 13. Oh man, this is another spicy set of matchups here. Dang, what am I gonna make game of the week? I think I know what it's got to be. I think I know what it's got to be. In the first matchup, we have Brett Tet versus Todd, the MoY God. Now, this is going to be an 8-4 Brett against a 7-5 Todd. This is a high-powered defense versus high-powered offense. The immovable object against the unstoppable force. The most points scored in the league, Brett, up against the least points against, my dad. I'm pretty sure it's least points against. No, second least. Matt actually has the fewest points against. Wow. And you're still that bad, Matt. That's impressive. Congratulations. So yeah, this will be an interesting matchup here. And it does have playoff seeding implications because if Brett loses out, my dad wins out. My dad will jump into the number 1 seed and get to face the 4th overall in the standings. Now, if my dad loses, he will be 7-6 and will be desperate for a win in his final week, or likely to get bumped off if one of these two teams can finish 7-7. Very, very important matchup for Todd, the MoY God. In the next matchup, Peter, Cheater, Pigu, Hot Sizzle, O'Donnell, Parenthood has not been good to you this year. Peter just had his first child this year, and let me tell you, the lack of sleep is showing in the performance. Yikes. Dead last in points scored. Wow, I take it back. Second to last. My dad is dead last in points scored. That's funny. And the most points against in the league. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Up against Eddie, don't call me sweaty. I'm going to bench my team's namesake, Kamara, Sutra, Disler. I don't have too much to say about this. This is frankly a super boring matchup. Every matchup with Peters is because his team fucking sucks. Next up, Maddie, don't call me fatty, Toby, HR, Southside. Up against Brent Tent. This one is going to be spicy. Baker Mayfield's health. He left with a shoulder injury, not good, but he did just trade for Daniel Jones, who is playing against the number 1 defense, who just shut down his own Josh Allen. Not what you want to see. Jamar Chase will be back. That should be good for Matt. Yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup, and it does have very this is kind of make or break for Matt. If Matt does not get a win, he slides down to 6-7 and is then basically only hoping that everything falls perfectly for him and that he's able to steal my dad's playoff spot. Brent Tent literally make or break for him, because if he doesn't win, he is out of playoff contention entirely. And then the final matchup, the game of the week, the most important manager in the league, myself, up against the most hated manager in the league, the Rat. Although Matt is making a push for the most hated manager, and I do really love the Rat Regime. Rat Regime icon. That is pretty legit. Big fan of that. Nice, 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 nice. I've got an uphill battle. Ray's team is very scary. Devontae Adams has caught a touchdown, I think, like every single week. Yeah, every single week for over a month. And he has had 3 games of that 5-week span with multiple touchdowns. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see. Now, hopefully, A.J. Brown just had his big game and got that out of the way. We'll see. I don't know. A.J. Brown makes me nervous. Chris Olave makes me nervous. Drake London makes me nervous. Ray's team is terrifying. A little nicked up, a little banged up, which gives me some hope. Marion Hampton might be coming back. Ooh. Yeah, just a lot of scary pieces over there. Quite the powerhouse in Ray Rat's team. And somehow he is nearing the basement. If he were to lose this next game, he could potentially miss the playoffs, either getting his spot stolen by Brent or Eddie if he finishes up at 7-7. So there are major playoff implications here. I'm fighting for my life. Ray is fighting for his playoff spot. We are both going to be right there in the mix. Cast is we're getting to the point where we're wrapping up now. I just want to take a quick look at the playoff picture. Matt will be 6-6. Rat will be 7-5. Todd will be 7-5. The standings will be Brett, Ray, I think my Todd in 3rd, and then myself in 4th. Matt will be 5th. No. Yeah, Matt will be 5th at 6 and 6. Eddie will be 6th at 5 and 7. Brent will be 7th at 5 and 7. And Peter Cheater Pigu Hot Sizzle, who bears no mentioning, as he is officially mathematically eliminated from the league. Later, bro. Yeah, I think that's spicy. Matt is breathing down my neck. I have to beat him by... I might not even leapfrog him if I don't beat him by 20 points, which is technically possible. But yeah, I'm assuming that I'm going to beat him by 20 points and leapfrog him in the standings. And if I have one bad week, he will leapfrog me yet again, and we will potentially be swapping with a tie-breaking of points scored being the deciding factor. Man, this league is tight, fellers. We are all neck and neck as we head into the home stretch. Fellas, I hope that you all have a fantastic week, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.